We are joined right now in the studio by a fabulous person that I want to let you introduce her, because this is a good friend of yours, and
Yes.
you guys have a relationship that spans a lot of activity and years. So
Yes.
I'm going to let you do it.
Since we were 12.
Yeah, I was going to say we are old friends, but I'll change that to long-term friends. Mary Ann Halpin, who is just a brilliant photographer. Mary Ann and I did a book together, which Marilyn Kentz and I wrote, and Mary Ann photographed, which is Fearless Women Midlife Portraits, which had all kinds of examples of women, some famous, some not, like Joni Mitchell is right here. And but a lot of the women were not nationally known women, but women that proved that the second half of life can be more powerful than the first.
Yeah.
So that was midlife portraits. And then my world became kind of the autism world, and Mary Ann continued with this whole fearless women concept, and you've really developed it to such a huge degree. Tell us a little bit about what you've done with it.
Well, it wasn't, be careful what you name your projects,
Yes.
But it wasn't something that I pursued. People say, oh, you're such a fearless woman. I'm not, I say, don't follow me, I'm lost, But it's really inspiring women and men to walk through their fear and embrace their sword of courage to help themselves and help the whole world. It's really become an inspirational movement for everyone, because our world, needless to say, has a lot of problems. And so that's where it started. And then I went to this women conference in 2008, and they asked me, they were so taken with the book, they asked me to do fearless portraits. And I spoke on stage, and I presented the CEO with a big portrait and a sword, and everybody went crazy. 3,000 women. Half of them ran out of the room, and I thought, oh my gosh, I must be really boring speaking about this. But they were signing up to get a portrait. And it meant so much to most of them, because they had such challenges in their life that I handed them the sword and they would burst into tears. So that kind of became another book, Fearless Women, Fearless Wisdom, out of a lot of the portraits I did from that conference for 3 years. And then to my recent book, which is Fearless Women, Visions of a New World.
Right, which is this one, which has Dr. Doreen Grampiche.
Dr. Doreen Grampiche,
yes,
who's
the founder of CART and the founder of ACT Today.
So yeah.
And you also have calendars.
We did some calendars, and I sell fearless necklaces.
Fearless Women, the sword.
Right,
and,
the sword.
And you also do, on occasion, retreats and
Fearless Women
and
retreats
workshops
in the
and all kinds of things. So
there's fearless everything.
Great. You are one fearless leader.
I try to fear less and love more.
Okay, sounds good.
I have to say that the photographs are beautiful.
Thank you.
But the message behind them is incredible, and hearing the stories behind them. And I can completely understand. I don't think there's anybody who could look at these pictures and not want one of themselves. It's very empowering what you're doing.
It is, and in the experience, and I create this little ritual of handing the sword, and it gets a little emotional. I just say, it's your turn now to have a fearless portrait, to honor yourself as the fearless woman. And get so many just tears and within seconds telling me about their life and what they've been through, and that this is really a touchstone for who they really are or who they aspire to be. And that's my messages in all my portraits.
Yeah,
I really,
you are all about empowerment. That might be an overused word today, but I think it's really applies. That what you're trying to help people do is tap into that source of really their passion of what they want to give to the world, and you believe that each woman, each person, each human being has a real gift to share. So she's crying.
I'm welling
again.
up. I'm welling up because I just think it's amazing. I
cries
well up all the
when
time.
she gets
But
inspired.
in the presence of the sword.
Well, I was looking at some of the stories right before we started, and they're very emotional. And hearing about how emotional it is when you because the pictures, everybody looks so fearless, but hearing about that emotion that they get when they get the sword, I'm welling up.
And I think this is what Mary Ann does is such a good example of my philosophy that your disability is your opportunity. Most of these women that have been in this book show that some crucial thing in their life put them on a different path that they never would have thought of, but they rose to the challenge and they reinvented themselves. So what we decided to do was to take this concept and work with kids, and that all age ranges, and basically do a kid activist portrait campaign. So I think we've got a clip.
Yeah, let's take a look, and we'll come back after
and I need
and
water.
hear more about it.
I think that gives you an idea of the kind of work this woman does.
Level.
And when you go into a studio session with Mary Ann, something magical happens, and you feel so free to express yourself. And you've worked with so many celebrities and a lot of people in front of the cameras. I think you've found a way to unlock that inner personality.
Well, I play music, I make it fun, and I've done so many actors. I was an actress myself, so I dance, I sing, I act goofy, and they feel, well, if I'm that goofy, they can act goofy in front of the camera, or they can be themselves. I allow them to be themselves. So when kids come in, I just let them kind of be, for a minute. And then by the end, we're rolling on the floor, we're laughing, we're having fun. And, I have hats, or I have people bring props if they want, so that we can have, you saw in one of the picture, one of the little girls had a whole series of hats.
Yes.
And that's one of the products we do make. Is that it's
you have butterfly wings.
We have butterfly wings. We've got bat wings.
Yeah.
We've got flowers, all kinds of things, and little chairs.
And we should say that the beautiful portrait of the boy, the ginger-haired boy holding the rose, is Wyatt. That's your
my
son.
little boy, and we did
gorgeous
some
portrait.
beautiful work.
Yes.
You did
Yes.
the portraits we got. We couldn't decide. There he is.
There.
And what we ended up doing was buying so many different. We went in for a family session, and I didn't think Wyatt would be able to be that emotional. She got him smiling. We have a whole series of him riding me like a horse. We have his dad and him rolling around on the floor. We have him in his SpongeBob underwear.
In a cowboy hat. So cute. No, I don't think we should put that out there.
Right. But great for mom and dad to have.
So cute.
And the eye contact. I know when I take my son to get a portrait done, I'm frustrated because they won't take the time.
Right.
My son can make eye contact with the camera, but he's not going to do it right out the gate just because you ask him to.
Right.
So the fact that you take the time and have the patience to get these things out of our kids is amazing.
Well, over the years, and by the way, I don't have children. I just rent them.
Well, sometimes that makes you better at doing it.
I photograph them, I have fun with them, and then I get to send them home. It's wonderful. But I love kids. I think because that's the actress in me, is that because kids come from that beginner's mind. Everything is new. And so until they get too old and they realize, But even so, if we can, even as adults, if I can bring them back to that inner child, and that happens with music, and sometimes I just get up there and wiggle in their booty or something, and they start laughing, especially men. It's so funny. It's like, wiggle your booty in there. Corporate guys, when I do corporate, they kind of look at me and then they go, "Oh, this is kind of nice."
And you ladies have come up with something to do that will benefit parents. They get an opportunity to get a gorgeous portrait of their children, but that it has far-reaching effects for a lot of people. So tell us what you two have cooked up.
Okay. Well, we're calling it our Fearless Kid Activist, ACT, because it's Autism Care and Treatment. And Mary Ann has graciously donated her time over 2 full weekends to photograph children to be kid activists. And these kids will end up in a photo montage in Westlake magazine. So you'll see your children in a glossy, beautiful magazine, and they're going to be on the Reuters billboard
in Times Square. It's a big billboard. It'll be up for about 30 seconds, but we get a still of it. So I send a still shot to everybody. All the parents get that, so they can put it out on Facebook. They send it to their family, and they can see that their child was up. And it's actually at the same time it's shown on a billboard, a digital billboard in Las Vegas. So it's really kind of a neat thing. We did that with the cover of my book. So So it's really great. I'm a real advocate for family wall portraits, because nowadays a lot of people they shoot digital and they shoot pretty good,
and they never
put them on the wall.
No.
It ends up in a hard drive or on a CD in the drawer. And I think I always say that having a portrait on the wall of your family is like having a group hug every day.
Yes.
Yeah, and let me tell you, this 8x10 beautiful portrait,
and I signed
that's signed by Mary Ann, and she of course has quite a reputation. is you get by donating. It's $297.
We like that number.
You'll get a 45-minute session.
Okay.
You walk away with this beautiful 8
For
by
the
10.
little girl, and for all the girls, not bigger girls, little girls, we do a little bit of makeup.
Yeah.
And we treat them just so like a little star.
Yeah.
We have them bring either whatever wardrobe. We'll do one change, but if we have time, we'll do two. We're probably going to just do it on one background on the white, which I think is really beautiful.
Yeah, the little girls aren't going to walk away feeling like they were Beyonce for a day.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
And so the locations, we're doing it, one in the Calabasas, Hidden Hills, California area on March 23rd and 24th.
Okay.
And then we're doing another one April 6th and 7th at your studio, which is in Universal City.
Right.
And then all the portraits, as we said, will be part of this collage in Westlake Magazine on the Reuters billboard. And we also are looking at doing a calendar similar to this with some of the children, if they want to go on and participate.
With their birthdays in it, and really special events, like, of course, highlighting April is Autism Awareness Month.
Right, that's why we're doing this whole campaign.
So, but we're, all kinds of dates in there that would be really personal for everybody.
Absolutely.
So that would be amazing.
And so, of course, I would imagine that there are only a certain number of slots because it's 2 weekends.
We're only feasibly in 2 weekends, and to give it really quality time, only 30.
Okay.
Only
So we
30
have 30 slots available. I think right now it's down to 28. We've got
we just started putting it out there. So get on the phone and call or go
do we have
to
a
Act
number
Today.
we can go to the Act Today. You can go to act-today.org. We're on the website already.
Right.
And you can also call the studio. Can I get that number out?
Sure.
323-874-8500. 323-874-8500. And
although it's better to go to Act Today website, so you do your donation first.
Yeah.
And then you can call me, and then we'll set up. I can talk everybody through, or my husband Joe works with me, and we can set the time at which location and tell you what to bring and all that.
I just want to, if you're thinking, well, why is my kid a kid activist? Well, first of all, any child with autism is a kid activist. They automatically fit that bill. Any sibling of a child with autism, and any child that knows somebody with autism and is kind and open with that child and is accepting. This is all about acceptance. So we want to feature children with autism, family members of kids with autism, and friends.
Yeah.
So it's a huge range. Don't be limited and think, well, my child doesn't have autism, they can't be a kid activist.
No.
Of course they can.
Right, absolutely. and more importantly, there's money to be raised here.
There's money to be raised, and you get something wonderful.
You get something back. So if you were thinking of donating some money, and if you were thinking of getting a portrait, here's a great way to do these two things together.
Yeah.
Now, for people who don't live in California, or this is outside of their budget, because we'll know that at certain points on the journey, this is going to be outside somebody's budget. They can still help to promote this.
Sure,
you can let people know about it on your Facebook page.
Because everybody knows somebody around the Los Angeles area, so they can forward the link to somebody that a friend or family and say, this is really great, and how cool to get a really great portrait.
Yeah.
Now also, I am making available bigger prints in canvas, acrylic, metal. I mean, really cool products, and even a little app that has all the pictures on your smartphone.
Oh, how fun!
So if
we
you
are
want to do
offering
additional packages, you can.
Okay.
Right.
So, but put the word. You can put the word out there and let other people know. This is a great opportunity for 30 people to get a great portrait of their child and to be giving to a whole bunch of other children at the same time.
Right. Maybe we can get. What we'll do is we'll post everything on the Autism Live website.
Yes, we will, and we'll put it on our Facebook page. We'll put a link so that you can go to our Facebook page, see that, and be able to donate. Go right to Act Today to donate, and to be able to find the information to be able to book your time in the studio with Mary Ann.
Yes, I think it's going to be I think it's going to be an experience that most children will not forget.
Yeah,
and the adults won't either.
Well, and you were talking earlier about how empowering it was for the adults getting the sword sword and what that was like. Imagine what that's going to be like for a child.
Right.
We were talking about self-esteem earlier with Dr. Dorian Grant-Bichet and talking with them about having autism and the self-esteem, and to be able to have a portrait. And
we're going to give kid activist certificates that can be framed and put next to their portrait. I'm a kid activist. I made the world a better place for someone with autism.
We're going to try too to do some videotaping, so that we're going to ask kids about, you know, what does it mean to make the world better? What is it? What do you think about what you can do or what others can do, and then also a little behind the scenes. So we want to put something together that people can see afterwards, and everybody we can get it a copy. You can get it off of YouTube or something.
Well, this is a great idea, ladies.
It's fun. It's really fun.
I'm so excited about this, and for 30 people, what a wonderful opportunity.
Those 30 lucky people.
Yes,
make their
30
call today.
very lucky people, and all the people who will benefit from the grants who come from that. It's really amazing, taking your talents and putting them together. Thank you so much for being with us.
You're welcome. Thank you.